Keanu Reeves found himself in an unexpected legal battle when a woman claimed he was the father of her children and demanded millions in child support. But when the judge dismissed the case, Keanu had one shocking move that would turn the tables forever. In a live press conference, he presented undeniable evidence that would make everyone rethink the way they judged him. What followed next? Well, it wasn't just a legal win. Stick around, because tomorrow's story is even more jaw-dropping and filled with secrets that'll leave you speechless. Don't forget to subscribe and tell us where you're watching from. In 2010, Keanu Reeves found himself in an unusual legal battle. A Canadian woman named Karen Sala claimed that Reeves was the father of her 4 adult children and demanded $3 million a month in spousal support and $150,000 a month in retroactive child support. The case landed in front of Judge Fred Graham in an Ontario court. Judge Graham listened to Sala's claims, which included allegations of a long-term relationship with Reeves and even his presence at the birth of her children. However, Reeves vehemently denied ever meeting her. The judge found Sala's evidence lacking and deemed her claims so incredible that they were not credible. He dismissed the case, stating it would be a waste of limited judicial resources. Months later, Reeves decided to address the allegations publicly. During a live press conference, he presented a DNA test result, proving he was not the father of Sala's children. He also revealed that he had never met Sala before the lawsuit was filed. Reeves said, "I had to go to court. It was horrible. I didn't do it. I'm not the dad." He expressed his frustration with the ordeal, which had caused him significant emotional distress. Judge Graham watched the press conference from his home. He felt a pang of regret. He had dismissed the case quickly, believing the claims to be baseless. But seeing Reeves present the DNA evidence live, he realized he might have been too hasty. Graham knew that his decision had put Reeves through unnecessary stress. He also felt a sense of responsibility for the public scrutiny Reeves had faced. A few days later, Judge Graham requested a meeting with Keanu Reeves. They met at a quiet cafe. Graham began, "Mr. Reeves, I owe you an apology. I dismissed your case too quickly. I didn't give you a fair chance to present your side." She continued to make inflammatory statements to the press, claiming that the DNA test was a setup and that she had been wronged by the legal system. Her actions only served to further damage her credibility. As the situation escalated, Keanu Reeves found himself in another legal battle. In 2011, he was granted a restraining order against a man named Brian Keith Dixon, who had allegedly trespassed on his property and made threatening statements. The incident highlighted the lengths to which some individuals would go to exploit his fame. Reeves' legal team worked tirelessly to protect his privacy and safety. They emphasized that while Keanu was a public figure, he was also a private individual who deserved to live without fear of harassment. In 2012, Keanu Reeves decided to take a more proactive approach to addressing the false claims and protecting his reputation. He launched a public awareness campaign, partnering with legal experts to educate the public about the dangers of frivolous lawsuits and the importance of due process. During a series of interviews, Reeves spoke candidly about his experiences. "It's important to understand that everyone deserves a fair chance to defend themselves," he said. "The legal system is there to protect us, but it can also be misused. We need to be vigilant and support those who are wrongfully accused." His efforts resonated with the public, and he received widespread support for his stance. Many people shared their own stories of being wrongfully accused or harassed, creating a movement that aimed to reform the legal system to better protect individuals from baseless claims. In the years that followed, the legal landscape began to change. Judges and lawmakers took note of the public outcry and the need for reform. New laws were introduced to protect individuals from frivolous lawsuits and to ensure that those who made false claims faced consequences. Judge Fred Graham, who had initially dismissed Keanu Reeves' case, became a vocal advocate for these reforms. He used his platform to educate other judges and legal professionals about the importance of due process and the dangers of rushing to judgment. In a speech to the American Bar Association, Graham said, Keanu Reeves' case was a wake-up call for all of us. It reminded us that justice is not just about the letter of the law, but about the spirit in which it is applied. We must always strive to be fair, to listen, and to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Keanu Reeves' experience had a profound impact on his life and career. He became more involved in philanthropic work, focusing on causes that supported justice and equality. His foundation, Goodnight Day, expanded its efforts to include legal aid for those who could not afford it, ensuring that everyone had access to fair representation. Reeves also used his platform to advocate for mental health awareness, sharing his own struggles and encouraging others to seek help. His humility and openness resonated with fans around the world, making him a beloved figure not just for his acting, but for his integrity and compassion. In 2013, a documentary titled The Quiet Architect premiered, tracing Keanu Reeves' journey from a young actor to a global icon. The film highlighted his philanthropic work, his commitment to justice, and the impact he had on countless lives. In an interview, Judge Fred Graham reflected on his initial dismissal of Reeves' case and the lessons he had learned. "Keanu taught me that true strength lies in admitting our mistakes and working to make things right," he said. "He showed us that even in the face of adversity, we can choose to be kind and just." Years later, as a new generation of actors and activists looked to Keanu Reeves as a role model, his legacy lived on. He had proven that even in a world hungry for drama, empathy and integrity could change lives. And so, the story of the judge and the actor became a legend, a reminder that in a world hungry for drama, empathy is the quietest revolution. By 2040, Keanu Reeves' influence had extended far beyond his acting career. His foundation, Goodnight Day, had become a global beacon for justice and equality, inspiring a new generation of activists and philanthropists. Among them was Emily Carter, a young lawyer who had been deeply moved by Reeves' story. Emily had grown up watching Keanu's films and admired his quiet philanthropy. After graduating from law school, she joined Goodnight Day as a legal advocate, focusing on cases involving wrongful accusations and systemic injustices. She quickly became known for her dedication and compassion, often taking on cases that others deemed unwinnable. One day, Emily received a letter from a young woman named Lily, who had been wrongfully accused of a crime she didn't commit. Lily wrote, "I'm innocent, but the system is against me. I've lost my job, my home, and my hope. I've heard about your work and believe you're my last chance." Emily knew she had to help. She took Lily's case, working tirelessly to gather evidence and build a strong defense. Through her efforts, Lily was eventually exonerated, and her life began to rebuild. As Emily's work gained recognition, she was invited to speak at conferences and events, sharing her experiences and advocating for systemic change. Her speeches resonated with audiences, inspiring many to get involved in local and global justice initiatives. In 2045, Emily was invited to speak at the United Nations Global Justice Summit. She stood before a packed auditorium, her voice steady and passionate. Keanu Reeves once said, "We're all seeds in each other's gardens." His experience taught us that even the most respected figures can be wronged by the system. We must ensure that justice is not just a privilege for the few, but a right for all. Her speech was met with a standing ovation, and she received numerous offers to collaborate on projects aimed at reforming the legal system and supporting those in need. By 2050, Goodnight Day had expanded its reach, funding legal aid clinics in underserved communities and advocating for policy changes to prevent wrongful accusations. Emily's work had become a model for other organizations, and she had inspired countless individuals to pursue careers in social justice. One evening, Emily received a call from an elderly man who identified himself as Judge Fred Graham. He had retired from the bench but remained active in legal reform initiatives. He wanted to meet with her. They met at a quiet cafe, where Graham shared his reflections on the past. "Emily, Keanu Reeves taught me a valuable lesson about not rushing to judgment. You've taken that lesson and turned it into a movement. I'm proud to see the impact you're making." Emily smiled. "Thank you, Judge. Keanu's story inspired me to fight for those who can't fight for themselves." It's a privilege to continue his legacy. Years later, Emily stood at the unveiling of a new monument dedicated to Keanu Reeves and his contributions to justice and equality. The inscription read, "He taught us that true wealth lies in quiet acts of kindness." His legacy lives on in the hearts of those he inspired. The film highlighted not only his humility and kindness but also the transformative power of empathy in the face of adversity. In the final scene, Emily Carter, now a respected leader in the global justice movement, stood before a crowd at the United Nations. She spoke with a calm yet powerful voice. Keanu Reeves once said, "We're all seeds in each other's gardens." His life taught us that even the smallest act of kindness can grow into a forest of change. Today, we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us, inspired by their courage and compassion. The audience, filled with activists, lawyers, and everyday citizens, listened intently. Emily continued, "We must never forget that justice is not just about the law, it's about the people. It's about giving everyone a fair chance to be heard, to be understood, and to be treated with dignity." Keanu's legacy is a reminder that we all have the power to make a difference, no matter how small. As the crowd erupted in applause, Emily's daughter, Lily, stood beside her, holding a small potted plant. Lily looked up at her mother and said, "Mom, what does it mean to be a seed in someone's garden?" Emily smiled and replied, "It means that every act of kindness, every moment of empathy, can grow into something beautiful. It means that we are all connected, and our actions have the power to change lives." Lily nodded, her eyes shining with understanding. She held the plant closer, symbolizing the hope and growth that Keanu Reeves had inspired in so many. Years later, Emily's words became a rallying cry for a new generation of activists. Schools began teaching the importance of empathy and justice, and communities worldwide adopted initiatives to support those in need. The movement, inspired by Keanu Reeves, had grown into a global force for good. In a small park in Santa Monica, a statue of Keanu Reeves stood, surrounded by a garden of diverse plants, each representing a different act of kindness. The plaque read, "He taught us that true wealth lies in quiet acts of kindness." His legacy lives on in the hearts of those he inspired. As visitors walked through the garden, they left notes and flowers, each one a testament to the impact Keanu Reeves had on their lives. One note read, "Thank you for showing us that even the smallest act of kindness can change the world." And so, the story of the judge and the actor lived on, not in headlines, but in the quiet acts of millions who chose kindness, one ripple at a time. The legacy of Keanu Reeves had grown into a forest of hope, a testament to the power of empathy, and the enduring impact of a single, humble act. If this story touched your heart, we've got many more that will do the same. Click the screen to discover more tales of hope, compassion, and resilience that will inspire you.